All right, I'm going to help you guys with number 53 in the pre-calc textbook with evaluating a difference quotient. So what the problem's asking you to do is it's giving you a function 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, which is the function f of x, right? And it wants you to put it into this difference quotient right here, which is f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So all you're doing is you're taking this equation right here, you're plugging it in into here, and then you're going to simplify. I'm doing blue and red, so this blue part right here, I want you guys to know that the x plus h part, the f of x plus h part, all we're doing is we're taking this equation and we're replacing each x, which is this right here, and this x right here, and we're replacing it with x plus h. This over here, I just wrote it in red, but it is just this function, right? Because f of x is f of x, and that's what this is. Okay. So the first step is you're going to want to rewrite the equation and expand. So I already wrote it out, but I want to explain what happened. So you see this function, turning it into f of x plus h, I'm replacing the x's with x plus h. So that's how I got 2 times x plus h squared plus 3 x plus h minus 1. So I replaced this this x with this, and I replaced this x with this. So it's the same equation. The only thing that changed is x turned into x plus h. And then this is the same as this. Okay? So once you rewrite your equation like that, next thing you're going to do is you're going to expand. So I'm going to go ahead and expand. This is the only thing that I have to expand. So I'm going to do that down here, right? So I'm going to take 2 x plus h. And when I expand this part right here, x plus h squared is the same as x plus h times x plus h. So that's why I'm going to write it like this. Plus 3 times x plus h, right? So this is this part minus 1. So now I'm going to expand this, which means I'm going to distribute this into here. I'm going to distribute this into here. And then whatever I get here, when I distribute, I'm going to distribute into that next parentheses set over. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to distribute this here. So 2 times x gives me 2x. And let me write it in blue, sorry. Let me just make sure I write it in blue. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times h is 2h, right? I'm going to put a parenthesis around that, and I'm going to use arrows to show you guys that this became this, right? I'm going to rewrite this part down here, x plus h. Now I'm going to distribute this 3 into here. So 3 times x is going to be plus 3x. 3 times h is plus 3h. All right, so I'm going to, again, use arrows to show you that this became this. And then the minus 1, I'm writing it down here. So I'm going to need more space, so I'm going to move this down a little bit, but I just want to make sure you guys understood where everything went. Okay, so next I'm going to distribute these two together, right? And that's going to be the last step in expanding. Well, combining like terms, but we'll get to that in a second. So 2x times x is going to be 2x. Let me write that in blue. Is going to be 2x squared, right? 2x times h is going to be plus 2hx. We can't combine those, so we're just going to write them out like that. 2h times x, again, that's the same thing. That's going to be plus 2hx. And then finally, 2h squared times h becomes plus 2h squared. And then I'm just writing this part down right here. Plus 3x plus 3h minus 1. Okay. So now we're going to combine the like terms. I'm going to underline the like terms. These are the only like terms that we have here, right? So finally, expanded and then simplified. This part f of x plus h becomes 2x squared. 2xh plus 2xh becomes plus 4hx. Then plus 2h squared plus 3x plus 3h minus 1. Okay, so this right here is this part of the equation, this part of the equation expanded, right? Makes sense so far? All right, so now I need to add the rest of it. So minus our function over h, right? So minus, and I'm going to put parentheses around the 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, right? Because we're subtracting this from it, right? So we're subtracting that from it, and all of this goes over h. Now all we got to do is we got to cancel, see what cancels out, and then simplify, right? So 2x squared minus 2x squared gives me 0, right? So we can cancel these out. Now 3x minus 3x gives me 0, right? So this cancels this out. And then negative 1 minus negative 1, when you subtract negative 1, is the same as adding 1. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0, so these cancel each other out. So all that is left over, all that is left over is 4hx plus 2h squared plus 3h over h. That is all that is left over. So now we're going to simplify. And what you're going to do here is you're going to find the greatest common factor, which all of these terms share an h, right? So we can factor out an h. So we're going to rewrite this as h times, and when you factor something out, you're dividing each term by what you factored out, right? So 4hx divided by h is just 4x, right? The h gets canceled out right there. Then 2h squared divided by h just becomes 2h, right? So plus 2h. And then 3h divided by h just becomes plus 3 over h. And we know that h divided by h is 1, so these cancel each other out. So your final answer is going to be 4x plus 2h plus 3. And you can check your textbook on page, I think it's in the back. If you look at the answer key, this is going to be the correct final answer. Hope that helped.